Yeah, there we go. Ah, nice. Yeah. So we got a new little setup here. See how this one goes. You can see a bit more of the attire, how it looks out here. We got a setup for guests, just in case someone wants to pop in, say a little something. How's everyone doing out there? Let's see your comments, man. Let's see some fire emojis. What else? The smiley face emoji, the X emoji. I don't know why I said that, but the X emoji. That represents 10, isn't it? 10X. For DMX. What else? Yeah. Hold on, let me see this. I remember Black Einstein said he's gonna pop over. That's nice to see. I remember a little while ago I said people should leave comments on the last stream. So I got to find the one comment that I found interesting. It's from my brother from Side Specs. Let me see where it is. Yeah, it was an interesting one. I didn't really know how to answer it, to be honest. I still don't know what the answer is because there's so many answers I could give. But he was like, he said, really great live, although not live in his case because he didn't get to see the live stream. We do, we like the late night business, so some people got to get to bed early so they can get up early. I understand that, but the beauty of this is that you can watch it after. So he said, question for part 2. You have the opportunity to do a dream track with anyone you want. Which A, producer, B, feature, C, vocalist, and D, DJ would you choose to use on the track? Oh, yeah. And then he said, P.S. Any joy with the vocals on that double time tune. That double time joint, yeah, boss. Of course, bruv, I'm gonna hit you back definitely because that tune is funny. You talking about that? I remember saying to you, I did something to it, and I was like, nah, actually, I've got another idea, so I'm gonna carry on with that. But a lot has happened since then, so But we'll talk about that off air. You know what I mean? But anyway, back to the question. It's a tough one, but I think producer, because you didn't say Dead or Alive, I'm going to go with Dead or Alive anyway. And I think producer would have to be JD, would have to be Dilla, for sure. Because, boy, jeez. If there's one producer who's beats, I always say to people, I can't think of one beat that I've heard where I'm like, I'm not sure about this. That's the guy, man. Jay Dilla, rest in peace, rest in power. I feel like he brought in like a whole new era, when it comes to production. Like, I know people were into beats before, there was a lot of people that like they hear the beat before they hear the rhymes or whatever. But in terms of, I don't feel like there were as many like events where it was just all about beats, where people were turning up at events with just their CD full of beats or their disc full of beats and just everyone there ready to just head nod, bam, bam, bam. And I feel like that was after the sort of Dilla, explosion, where he just turned it into a whole new dimension with what he did. So yeah, if I could get a beat in terms of production, it'd be Dilla. And then you asked about which feature. Whew. And that's a hard one, man. I think, it'd probably be feature. It'd probably be at the moment. It'd be like Black Thought. That's how I'm feeling now. That's always been my favorite rapper for a long time. In terms of just the amount of work that he's put in, but from the beginning, just the style and the cadence, and the fact that he was able to kind of you know, work on different styles of beats quite easily. And then, yeah, and still carrying it on till this day, man. That's like, you know, next level. But also, I thought about Big L, man. You know, if it was a dead or alive thing, someone like Big L, because, you know, he paved the way for a bunch of talent, you know, to be able to be street but still entertaining in a way that lyrics, you know, people are captivated by the way the lyrics are brought forward. You know, like not a lot of people had that, just that style where people were like, yo, that sounded crazy, I want to hear that again, you know. And I think, yeah, that would have been a nice feature to have. Vocalist, I don't even know, but probably someone like Curtis Mayfield or someone like that. You know what I mean? Hit them high notes. I can't hit them high notes this late. You know, don't even ask me to try and do that. But yeah, probably someone like that. And then DJ. Woo! DJ's a hard one because there's so many, man. But whose cuts would I like? Whew. There's so many, man. And I've been blessed to work with, you know, some heavyweight DJs as well, like Mr. Thing, Shorty Blitz. Woo, come on, man. DSK, like people with some high level. So, woo, who else would there be then? Probably someone like, maybe Jazzy Jeff. Yeah, Jazzy Jeff, something like that. Yeah. Yeah, I'd have to say Jazzy Jeff. That would be cool, man. You know what I mean? I could get my Will Smith on. Yeah, man. But yeah, it's so interesting thinking about the different, you know, styles of producers out there and who I'd like to work with as well, because there's so many, you know, so many of the greats already. And like, you know, you can never... There's certain people where it's like, yeah, you know for sure, if you go to them, you're gonna get a banger. You know what I mean? Like Primos and Pete Rocks and people like that. But then there are other people that not many think about, that where it's the same thing. You know, or you'll get a track that you can't go wrong. You can't go wrong with it. You know, unsung heroes in a way, but still putting in a lot of work. Do you know what I mean? People like Knots, like I think Knots is one of those producers that go under the radar, but as always, you know, Scratch as well, man. DJ Scratch. Yeah, but it's interesting thinking about different producers, you know. I've been blessed to work with some heavyweights. Cy Specs is one of them as well. He gave me that the beat for That Rush. Oof. When I got that, jeez, I just knew I had to come with something that hit people heavy, you know, hit people heavy. But I don't want it to just be like a track. Yeah, this is my banger track. Listen to this. This is, you know, this is for the clubs or whatever. I always want it to have something behind it, you know, whether it be a story or at least some kind of message. You know, for me, that's important. Very important. Got to wet the throat. You know what I mean? Wet the throat. Yeah. Producers, man. We might be speaking to a producer in a little bit. My man Black Einstein. He can break down a little bit more for us because, you know, it's always interesting chatting to people about their what they're into that you can hardly get your head around, and whether you can get a bit more of an understanding of it. Like, I always enjoy that. That's why we're trying to think about whether this should be... there you go. There you go. See? No. Look at the timing, boy. What's going on? The timing is perfect. Perfect. What's going on? Black Einstein.
Evening.
In the building.
Evening.
Good evening.
You see?
Yeah, I'm good, man. How are you, sir?
I'm good, sir. I'm good. You saying D?
All right.
Good.
Yeah. Yes. Shout out Preston.
Let's put that down a bit so we can see your face.
No, you need to put it back up.
Put this down.
But much better on radio.
Yeah. Shout out to DJ Lock. That rush was so good to perform with you. Yeah, man. Come on, bruv. That rush. We have to give people that energy, man. Yeah, it's important when you're doing a live show. What's the point of calling it live if it's going to be dead? Nah, man. You gotta go in. And especially, wow, Side Specs gave me a beat to go in with, boy, with that rush. So yeah, man, when they got locked behind me on them decks, can't go wrong. Shout out to Mr. Green. What's going on, bruv? Oh, Murs. Yeah, Murs is a sick rapper, man. Definitely. Veteran. Yeah, that would be a sick combination, actually, doing the track with Murs. There's a bunch of people out there, man. You can't go wrong. Yes. Shout out to Preston Leroy Cujo. He says, yes, my brother, it's your boy from Bush. Yes, shout out to the Bushman, them. He said, what is your best one of the best lyrics you've ever said? For me, best lyric I've ever said. I don't even know, brother, man. That's asking a lot. Best lyric I've ever said. Nah, that's a hard one, man. Yeah, you'd have to spit all of them and go, yeah, that one felt the best, man. You know, it's so hard when people say, "What's your best lyric?" Because you'll be like, right now at this precise moment, this is probably the best lyric. But yeah, but you know, tomorrow it might be a different. You have a different moment, like
whatever one you're stopped at. You're interrupted. That's my best lyric. You just interrupted me on my best lyric.
Yeah, and then you get the black book out, like, right, mark that down. That one, that's it. You know what I mean? It's like comedy, like the jokes. That's what they got to do, innit? When they're out there. Yeah, comedians the next level, man. So Black Einstein, what's going on, bruv?
Yeah, I was chilling.
Join in.
I was chilling, just seeing what's going on.
Yeah. Producer extraordinaire.
Oh, thank you.
AKA
On a good day. AKA
Colin Emmanuel.
FKA, is it for me?
Yeah, nah, you
C-Swing.
still, yeah, C-Swing, jeez. C-Swing, for those who don't know, Funk producer, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
From the era,
In it for a minute.
the low life days,
Do
boy.
my thing, you know. I got some history in that.
Yes. Break down a little bit of the history for
Oh
those
man,
who don't know.
put me on the spot.
Yeah, man, people need to know. You know, some people out there they're a bit too lazy to do the Googling these days, so you gotta
But
shrink wrap it for them. You gotta shrink wrap that shit, blurb.
okay, with some artificial ingredients. Cool. Well, obviously there's the funk stuff, and then there's your stuff, like tip of the icebergs and what did I do on nitrogen?
You did the
Milkman, and that's what I
Hooked.
want, and Hooked, and was there a couple more on there?
Yeah, there's a couple more in there, man.
And My Type of Party from.
Yeah, my type of party from the food.
That's the first full track we worked on.
Yeah, for real.
Yeah, that's the first proper track we did together.
Yeah.
And the first time we actually worked together was on Bar Funk, when Joe got into the hook for it.
Yeah. Wow,
Yeah.
Shepherd's Bush.
Yeah, that's a bit para.
Shout out to the Bush, man. Then he was a bit para.
Yeah, cause I did seen you around the building, but
Yeah.
I was like, all right, proper man's coming to the studio now, you know. I might get tump up or something. I just get make sure the rope was right. Nah, I'm joking, but it was good vibes on that day. But yeah, there's that stuff. Jamilia's first 2 albums, Beverly Knight, Beat a Band.
Whoa. Come on,
Yeah,
man.
there's that
You
stuff.
can't just like, you're just going to swing by
Jamilia's
the
first 2
Jamilia's
albums.
first 2 albums bit.
Yeah,
You know what I mean?
it is what it is, isn't it? You know, what do you mean the tracks on them?
Yeah.
Oh, Money, this Beanie Man, and Call Me, and Bout was Ride Digger. I had about 5 tracks on the first album and 6 on the second. But most of her singles on the first part of her career, up until like around Superstar, were all mine. If you know what I mean? And then she went big in it.
In the
Big,
game, boy.
Still waiting for my discs, but it's alright, it's all cool. It's all love, you know
Still
what I'm saying? Still waiting for my plaques though, you know what I'm saying?
You waiting for your plaques, boy.
Yeah, you don't see that on MTV Hood, do you?
So you got in the. How did you get into the business in terms of production wise? Like what triggered the okay? I want to make the beats. What was that moment?
What was that moment? It was Whitney Houston.
Whitney Houston.
Whitney Houston. She had her first video. So I used to think when she first came out, I had like a mad crush on Whitney Houston. And in her first video, she falls in love with her producer, innit? Yeah. But I never knew what a producer was, if you know what I'm saying. So I remember saying to my dad, who's the guy in the video she falls for? And he goes, oh, he's a producer. I'm like, what does the producer do? And he explained to me. I was like, oh, okay, cool. And the seed was kind of set, if you know what I mean. But when it properly like kicked in was probably when the first Mantronics album dropped. And drum machines started to become readily available and stuff like that. Because I could never really get on the turntables. Like I had a big cousin with the sound system, but he wouldn't let me on the turntables, if you know what I mean. But I could work out BPMs and stuff like that, so I was always coming out from a kind of technical point of view. So once I started using computers, it was sort of like, I was going to go and do special effects for films, because Tron had just come out as well, or go down the music route, and I went down the music route instead.
Yeah, same.
You know, and then once like, I think it was Teddy Riley did, once I saw Heavy D and the Boys with the MPC in the video, I was like, yeah, I want to be doing this.
And how did you find out what that was in the video then?
Because by then I was getting all the magazines. So because I bought the wrong magazine, because basically I was going to buy a magazine about special effects on computers and stuff like that. So I saw all these waveforms and just grabbed the magazine. But then when I got home, those waveforms were actually samples. And it was a music mag. So then I started seeing all the equipment and what keyboards did and what an MPC was and stuff like that. And from there I started just logging all the equipment and seeing who was using what, if you know what I'm saying. So kind of a bit of a nerd angle, but went off in that direction.
Yeah, because I always wonder, like, right, how the hell do they know what equipment to get? You know, some people say that they hear, you know, someone say it on a tune.
Yeah.
But then I'm like, okay, so you heard it, but then, because back in them days, it went like, yeah, let me just Google the thing. You're like, all right. But like you're saying, there were magazines.
Magazines, and then even like watching video or something like that, or shot in the magazine, you'd be like, oh, okay, you're using that amp, or he's got that keyboard. What keyboard's that? Okay, and then you start investigating. But like you were saying, there was no internet. So 9 times out of 10, you're waiting for like seminars at Earl's Court or something like that. We used to get all the manufacturers coming out with the new equipment. So you go around and get all the manuals and all the information and brochures and stuff like that. So you do stuff like that, or you go to your nearest music shop and grab all their leaflets and stuff.
Wow.
But it's proper like you had to properly go and find out where all the stuff was, if you know what I mean.
Jeez, man. Yeah. That's a whole different level of like, all right, let me do my research on this. You know what I mean? Like, they ain't no searching for, oh, let me see what people are saying in the comments. Like,
No,
find out.
none of that. None of that. Comments was your friend saying something to you.
Yeah.
You know, or you might hear something at school or in a college or whatever, but there wasn't no comment section or feedback or anything like that. So,
Yeah.
and if you were lucky, you knew someone who had that stuff. But it wasn't like common practice. Like everyone's got the tracks these days on their laptop. But back in the day, not everyone had it. If you had an MPC, were kind of like the legend of your area, if you know what I'm saying. So,
You're the only one who had it.
Yeah,
And people want to come around. That was like when when people back in the day, people used to come around and play the computer games.
yeah, it's the music version of that. The music Street Fighter.
That's deep, man. You still coming through, yeah?
Yeah, I've just got an echo.
Ah. Yeah, man. Jeez. So.
But that must have been the same for you when you're trying to work out, like when you get into rap and stuff like that, and you were trying to properly get into it. Was the internet up yet?
When I was properly trying
Like,
to.
were you trying to find
No.
out?
When I first, When I first was getting into that, there wasn't no internet. It was just like you were hearing tunes, and your MTV raps and
Right.
magazines and that were probably how you'd find out about stuff. So it's similar thing. Yeah, I think like I was lucky in that like one of my elders, his older brother used to he was he used to collect records and that. And when he used to go out, it was like on the weekend, we'd sneak into his room in it and then go through all the records and that. And so we'd see all of these things, you know, whether it be like EPMD or, you know, Master Ace or whoever. And, you know, at that age, it felt like, it's like superheroes, you know what I mean? It was like comic books or whatever. You're getting all these names and that. And then also, he also collected like UK stuff.
Right.
So we were lucky enough that we had knowing that you don't have to sound like what you're hearing from the States and whatnot. But yeah, what's that like for you then as a producer? Back then, were there a lot of like, I know there were quite a few names you could probably bring up that influenced you know, the culture anyway, but you know, were there producers out there that you could say, I know I can do this because I see them doing it, or was it more stateside producers?
Really, it was mainly, from my angle, it was mainly stateside producers. Because mostly UK guys that I knew were doing pop stuff. And I do pop stuff as well, so I got no problem with that. But there was no one really kind of doing the stuff that I was into or that I was listening to, if you know what I mean. It's few and far between. And if they were, it was kind of on the fringes, if you know what I'm saying. So most of my influences are coming from America, and an odd few from over here, like Carl McIntosh, Lee Sens and stuff like that.
Yeah.
That's like foundation, if you know what I mean.
Yeah.
But in general, there weren't like a lot of Carl McIntosh. Not like today where I can name like a couple, if you know what I'm saying. So yeah, it was very much it was a mixed up flavour, because there's a lot of American stuff and a lot of like the rock and pop stuff from over here I was getting influenced by.
So that must have been kind of scary in the sense that, you don't know where this is going to go, like how it's going to go, but you know something's going to happen with this. No? Or were you at an age where it was like,
No, I mean, in terms of a career going somewhere or music-wise?
Yeah, in terms of career, music-wise, but in terms of like, this, I'm going to make this a career.
I knew that from when I was just before I left school, I knew I was going to do that. Pretty much. Because, because I just had my heart set on it. Because I knew I couldn't do the football anymore after my accident. So that's when I kind of switched to doing the music, if you know what I'm saying. But I was always focused on doing that. And I knew that I didn't want to be like a front man. I knew I wanted to be doing something behind the scenes, if you know what I'm saying. So it was always going to be like, cool, it's going to be music. I'll learn piano, I'll do mixing or whatever. I went to school of audio engineering and got my engineering production qualifications and stuff like that. And it's always going to be somewhere in this direction, whether it's radio or film or TV. And my heart was kind of sound production, but I was kind of like quite blinkered with it. So even the jobs I took to like kind of pay the bills and that, it was always sort of like, but I'm not going to be here for that long.
Yeah,
that's as far as I'm concerned.
Like this was just steps to.
So getting promoted with a pain. I don't want to get promoted in so department. I'm taking enough sick leave to go and do sessions instead.
Rav, jeez. And then, so what was the first, the moment where you're like, okay, this thing is happening now, and like what carried on from then? Obviously for me it was like, I think it was I got to go do a gig in Brittany,
right,
with Harry Love. And it was like, I'm abroad, I'm doing a gig, it's a festival, you know what I mean? I was like, okay, something's gonna happen here, man. This is like,
I find it was like two levels, isn't it? It was like the first time when it's sort of like, rah.
Yeah, that was
this is happening and someone's here and I recognise that person and this is kind of big and this is what I always thought it was going to be, if you know what I mean? And then there's the next level where it's sort of like, rah, this is actually what I do now, if you know what I'm saying.
Yeah.
But I reckon the first time I saw like rah was when I was programming. I got asked to program for Definition of Sound to become their programmer when they were working on their second album. So that was like my first professional gig, if you know what I'm saying.
Jeez.
And I remember going into the reception at Roundhouse Studios and going into a foyer to meet them, and Boy George was in there having a cup of tea.
Oh,
I
right.
had to go into the next shift, going to be his, and I was like, oh right, so now we're in a proper building with proper studios, and
Celebrities.
there's certain people here working on their stuff, and oh, okay, cool, I get it, right, cool, I get it.
Come a chameleon up
Yeah.
in here, mother lover boy.
So that was kind of like my kind of like rah moment, if you know what I'm saying.
Yeah, okay. Okay. And you're like, all right, let me get on this now.
Yeah.
And then what was the networking situation like back then? Like, you know, obviously it wasn't like you're trying to get as many followers as you can on Instagram and or Twitter. or
Well, in
whatever.
terms of building your profile, and
Yeah, and networking and being able to, because you got quite a name as C-Swing for doing remixes.
yeah, that was networking for me, because I don't really like networking. I'm just not that good at it, if you know what I'm saying. So my attitude has always been like, let my work do the networking for me, if you know what I'm saying. But especially in those days, back in the day, if you did a good remix, if you got onto the right circuits and the right DJs played, then you're kind of like pretty much set up, if you know what I mean. So once I got into a couple of joints that got radio listed or stuff like that, or became rotation, if you know what I'm saying, then you start to get a bit of a name. But I've never really done the whole networking thing. I mean, I've kind of like been lucky enough to reach out to people who never responded back, or word of mouth, or because like even like working with you, it was like through Joe, and then I've met people through you, etc. But I've never actually like gone out to get people to work with or associate.
So how were you getting all them remixes then?
The first one I got through Definition of Sound, because their manager was managing a Junior Dangerous, and I got to do that. So I did a couple of bootleg ones as well, just as a cappellas, and then I had a touch in that I got introduced to Dave VJ.
Oh yeah.
And then he used to kind of like, obviously he was working at Kiss, he'd hear certain things, he'd be like, oh, my boy does remixes, so he used to throw a lot of work my way. Then he introduced me to the real Swing, DJ Swing.
Oh man,
R.I.P.
rest in
And he
peace.
gave him like my first major label remix.
Yeah,
I remember calling out, going, yo, it's the real Swing, you used to come to do a job.
yeah.
So then once you do a good remix for a label, it then starts to go to different departments, and then they start calling and stuff like that.
I'll say it was basically like word of mouth in a way, and the right sort of connections as well.
Yeah. And then as long as you like deliver on time and under budget, you get a good rep, don't you? So, you know, did a good job. Did what I had to do, you know what I'm saying? But I always try to use the remix as well as a kind of like way of showing my production. Because 9 times out of 10, it was, if you did a good enough remix, it might become the main single.
Oh, for real.
So my game plan was always like to try and mess up their game plan. Because it's sort of like, you could have given me a single to produce, but you don't believe I can do it yet. So let me give you a remix that makes you think about what the single should actually be.
Yeah.
And I was lucky enough I had a couple of remixes that became the singles. So
The art of war, right there.
yeah, you know,
Took it.
just subversive stuff.
Took it to the industry. Wow. And so, how did the link up with Jamelia happen then? When did that come about?
Through the remixing.
Oh, through the remix.
One of the A&Rs that Parlophone I was doing the remixes for was like, yeah, I've seen this girl sing at Carnival, and she's quite young, she ain't left school yet, and I'm not sure if we're going to put her on a development deal or not, so could you spend a day with her in the studio? And that was Jay. I think she must have been about 14, 15. And we did a day in the studio and worked out a few things. She could write really well, if you know what I mean. And then said to me, I think she's great. And it was like, cool. And I didn't hear anything from him for like over a year. And then they started working on the album. I still didn't hear nothing from him. And then I bumped into him in a meeting at the label. And he was like, yeah, come and do some stuff on the album for her. And once again, similar situation, they were meant to be like album filler tracks or B-sides or whatever. And my attitude was like, well, if I'm in, I'm going to give you something to think about.
Yeah.
So,
Ah.
you know, and kind of, luckily me and her developed like a really good bond. And then we brought Daniel DeBorg into the situation. So it used to be me, her and Daniel DeBorg doing all the writing and production, if you know what I mean. And we were like a proper nice little writing team. So we did most of their first album, and then that kind of money blew up from that. Money really blew up from that.
Yeah.
And then we started the second album, and then it was meant to, first we did all the album, and then the A&R changed, and then the tracks got taken off, and it became like, now you got 8 tracks on the album, now you got 7, now you got 6, and all kinds of stuff. But I've still got most of it on there, but it definitely got whittled down from what it was originally, if you know what I'm saying.
Them industrial games right there, boy.
At the end of the day, the career's bigger than, I've got other things to do, if you know what I mean. So I
Yeah.
get it. I get how the game works. I'm not one of these guys that's going to be sort of like, industry. This is business, if you know what I mean.
Yeah,
So,
it's true. It's true, man.
know.
Yeah, and so you carry on from there, of course. Yeah. Damn, man. And so so then you've also like started then you started, you know, mixing in with the Low Life camp, and how did that come about?
Low Life was in the same building that I was working from. Joe was across the hall from me, innit?
Yeah.
So it would always be it's that kind of male ego thing where like you work on a beat and then you play it loud so that the whole building could hear it. And then you turn it off for a bit, and then next thing you hear Joe working something, and him turning up loud, like, yo, here's what I'm doing. And then eventually you kind of like come into the alleyway and just kind of meet, what's up, and get talking and stuff like that. So we became kind of cool from Shepherd's Bush days.
I mean, I wasn't really involved with Low Life then. I was just kind of like, I did Barrow Funk. I think it was actually when I started Barrow Funk, and Microsoft Artemis U was the first.
Shit.
Man, what the fuck is that? We'll just do the earphones. Yeah. So it's the that's a good one. Oh shit. Got a card. Oh, is that they can hear me, yeah.
That's really fucking loud. Do you want to just like, should we just cut it?
Yeah.
It's okay. It's still going.
Just make it, back on, but it's still got this horrible echo.
There's an echo.
The echo's nicer than it was with the horrible distortion.
Yeah. Can you not hear echo out there? Is it echoing when we're talking? Yeah. Check. 1, 2, 2. Hey. Let me test it out now. Hey.
Colin's mic.
Oh, is it Colin?
That's where the echo's coming from.
Yeah. Really, it's like, I've been trying to trace it down all this time. I can't see what it is.
You know, I'll come back in for the next episode. It's like, that's a cliffhanger right there. And then what happened? Dun, dun, dun.
Cliffhanger. Technical difficulties. Technical difficulties. Technical difficulties. Hey. Oh. It's like I don't know, but it's coming from there. Oops.
Yeah, yours ain't too bad.
Yeah, there ain't no echo on here. But you're getting it.
I'm listening to the stream.
Oh, is it?
Yeah. I'm just listening directly to the stream. I can just hear that.
Yeah. Yo, you lot leave a comment and let us know if it's echoing or not. We're still getting these new toys used to us. You know what I mean? The toys have got to get used to you. You don't get used to the toys yet. Alexander Beck says that guitar looks lovely, bruv. Might start playing it for you lot. You know what I mean? If you smash that like button, might go with Jimi Hendrix. Go with Jimi Hendrix. They go Black Sabbath and smash the guitar. I might smash the like button myself with the guitar. How about that? Oh, okay. Locke might be right. He's saying that it's possible that this, when C's speaking, is picking up on this mic as well.
Yeah, but they're both just going through the same desk. So it shouldn't be.
It's not that kind of. Okay. Yeah. Black Einstein. You're going to get back in your.
I thought it was working.
It's working, it's just that there's an echo on both of them, but mine's is like a lot less noticeable.
Okay.
I don't know why. I can't trace it down. I'm like tracing back every single line. I'm like, well, where the hell is that?
Yeah. And the sad part is the only way you can really test it is live as well.
Yeah.
Well, it's not that sad. I mean,
It is sad.
not sad. I know you had it. Yeah. It's not sad.
You ain't crying over it.
Yeah, you ain't crying over it. Right? You know what I mean? Yeah, so where were we at? We were at you two having beat battles.
Oh, me and Joe.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's right, yeah. Kind of beat battles. And got talking. It used to be that really grungy kitchen. Remember that? So we used to always hang out down there and chat.
Oh, yeah. Oh, man, the dingy kitchen, bro. Yeah.
And watch the football and stuff like that. And then eventually when he was moving out of Shepherd's Bush and I was moving at the same time, he found the spot for me in Devonshire Street. So then once I moved to Devonshire Street with him, and I was working across the hallway, and it was just a case of, right, I'm working on this album, can you master it, or can you do a track with so-and-so, or can you edit this, or radio edits and stuff like that.
So Byrofunk was Shepherd's Bush.
Byrofunk was Shepherd's Bush. And then by the time we got to Old Devonshire Street, the Food album, what's the Just album with the Brain on it?
Oh, damn, I forgot the name of it now. It's called, it's the baby in the head and inside the head.
Basically, anything from Low Life 2001 that was on CD or was a radio edit, I did it. So I was doing all that kind of stuff with him, but yeah. And then he cut out my album through Little League, so it ended up working out right in the end. And I produced his last album. Was it like my last and the best album before he kind of Lord Luke and just vanished? You know what I'm saying? To the Dungeon Master. So
Did he vanish on you as well? You didn't know that he'd left?
I thought he vanished on me, but then I found out recently that he'd been emailing me to the wrong email address.
Oh, for real?
Yeah. And I just hadn't. It's one of those. I'd locked off the email address from time ago. So
yeah. It sounds like something's happening with the vocals for real. Unless Black Einstein has summoned The ginger demons will come and mess up the whole podcast. Yeah.
Yeah, so yeah, so from them, from like 2001 till when he stepped, and I didn't hear from him for ages. I only heard from him like got in touch with him, should I say? When was it? Probably during lockdown, because I got the rights back to my album. And I had to get hold of all the people that were involved in the Little League, and he was one of them. So I've actually managed to track him down.
Oh, wicked.
But how did I get hold of him? I ain't gonna disclose that information on air. Yeah. I had to kind of like go through certain circles to get hold of him.
Yeah.
The people I
thought, to go through certain initiations.
Yeah, but the people who I thought would have given me his email address quite readily and easily didn't.
Yeah, it's because you weren't initiated then. Yeah.
Did quite happily, so you know.
It's because you weren't, you know what I mean? You weren't down. You weren't with the brotherhood.
Yeah.
And then you didn't know the secret handshakes and all that.
I wasn't using the right drums, the right drum samples, so you know.
Yeah. So, and you also got to work with a few other people as well. Obviously, Young Gun, correct? Yeah. Doc Brown.
Yeah. Oh wow. Yeah, Young Gun.
Terry Walker.
Brown, Terry Walker.
Like Undercover Dela, yeah. Yeah.
Blast After KRS-One.
Yeah. Jeez.
Sly and Robbie.
Wow, Sly and Robbie.
I did some stuff with Carl McIntosh at one point. We wouldn't remember that. That was years ago, though. But yeah, there's quite a few names on the old CV. You know, we could definitely drop a few names on it. Yeah, can't argue with that.
And so, if people ask what type of producer are you, what type of music do you make, what would you say?
I never know how to answer it, to be quite honest with you, because I've never really been someone that kind of like wants to do one particular style. So, I guess I'd say I was an old school type producer. I mean, the only thing I really try and aim for with any track I do is to make sure that it gets or generates some sort of emotion. Which is probably why I got into the film stuff, if you know what I'm saying. But no, so when I first started out, I was sort of like, yeah, I want to be this kind of producer, or I do New Jack Swing, or I do hip hop, and blah blah blah. And then the longer the career's gone on, the more it's just become like I'm just a producer.
Yeah. Yeah, no, I hear that. I think it's similar in a way, like in terms of not wanting to get pigeonholed as well, because you know, it's that thing of being able to do what you want. You know, there's a lot more freedom.
Yeah, and I think sometimes if you don't fit in a particular style, like I can hear something that maybe it's like someone, an artist that you wouldn't say I want to work with. I might hear something in there that I could like put. They think that I'm approaching them as being this type of producer as opposed to being like, no, I'm just a producer. I've got a better chance of connecting with them, if you know what I mean. So, because at the end of the day, it's just the same 12 notes, no matter what style you're doing it. So I just kind of embrace it all.
12 notes.
Yeah, that's all it is.
That's interesting, isn't it? It's 12 notes.
Yeah, no matter what style, it's the same 12 notes. So.
I wonder which notes correspond to which star sign.
Why is it? Ah, I see what you say.
You reckon?
Yeah, possible.
12 notes. Yeah.
Possible.
We gotta look into that, huh? Mice investigates. That's what we're talking about right there, man. So talk about like equipment. You know, like producers always, you know, shout out to all the producers I know that go in on the equipment talk. When you lot link up, boy, jeez, when producers link up and talk about production juggling, it's like, I'm like, yeah, I'm out. I'm gonna go for a walk for a couple of hours because you lot, whatever you lot are saying, I don't know. Yeah, the RS32, yeah, because I got the plugins for the thing, and you're like, right. Yeah, but if you connect, you know, it's better when you get the plugins for the. And you're like, yeah, I don't know. Yeah, this console. I'm like, boy. But you know, the more I've obviously been around you, and people that produce, the more I can appreciate that. Right, it is really. It's a thing of like what you're comfortable with using, and you kind of mold around how you're using it, right? Like the more you learn it, the more like, yeah, this is me.
Yeah.
Like into what sort of equipment did you start off with that, you know, brought that, okay, yeah, now I'm ready?
I think the piece of kit that taught me how to like arrange songs and manipulate all the data and stuff like that was a most old school producer would be like an Atari 1040. An old computer that used to be able to get Cubase on or notator software or whatever. Like monochrome screen with a box, etc. Everyone had the cracked disc.
Oh, the cracked disc.
I had a cracked 3.5-inch disc, but it was like the main sequencing program. So that's the one where I kind of like learned how to like put stuff together and things like that. In terms of sampling,
I'm kind of imagining that wasn't like nothing like today's sort of, you know, your average laptop.
Nah, because there wasn't we didn't do any audio or anything like that. It was just MIDI. It just had like one MIDI in and one MIDI out, and that was it. And it could even get to a point where you could put too many notes into it, so your song could become too big, if you know what I'm saying.
Wow.
But at the same time, there was nothing else out really for you to be able to complain about anything, if you know what I mean, because it was what it was, if you know what I'm saying. So that was like quite an important machine, like well before MPCs or anything like that, because I mean they were still around at the time, but they were quite expensive. But most people used to getting into it used to have an Atari, if you know what I mean.
Yeah.
And if you had like something else, you were seen as being like special. Oh my God, he's got a Mac, or he's using an IBM or whatever. But everyone had the Atari. Like even like Milo Studios and stuff like that, when it used to be called Milo, like all the big studios used to, you got Ataris there, yeah, cool. You walk down, it was your discs. But that was just the computer. Then there was still like the sounds, your keyboards, your sampler, and all that kind of stuff as well. So like nowadays it's all on the laptop, but back then it was a proper carload of equipment.
Yeah. You're dragging a bunch of shit around with you.
And it'd take like 2 hours to set stuff up. And did you bring enough MIDI leads with you? Did you bring all the discs with you with the right sounds and stuff like that? So yeah, working now with stuff is a luxury, but back then, yeah, it was a mission. Like the computer was the first thing that I kind of like got my head around, if you know what I'm saying. And then the other one was I had a W30 sampler because I found out that E was using one, Eric Sermon.
Gee.
So
W30.
Roland W30,
Roland W30.
proper keyboard sampler with a floppy disk drive. I think and when I found out he used to use one, I was like, oh, I want to get one of those then.
Yeah.
That's when I started like properly messing around with samples and sequencing on that instead and stuff like that. And then from there it just kind of grew. But it's always been a toss up between beat machines and keyboards, because I like playing piano and that as well. So it's always been like the 3 areas: computer, beats, piano.
What do you enjoy more out of making beats or playing piano?
Really depends, man. It's a bit like picking your favourite lyric. Any day, if you
I
ask
still
me,
didn't even answer that, did I?
no, you didn't. You just dodged it neatly, which is what I'm doing right now.
Yeah.
You know, that's how I'm calling back to it.
Yeah.
But no, if you ask me on a particular day, it's like if I'm working with you, for example, it's MPC or beats. You can't. I'm not messing with it. And then sometimes, like when we did the interlude on the hooks, that particular day was sort of like, yeah, I'm all about piano. So. And when we're doing the Black Einstein live stuff, it becomes more about, I just like playing and being around people who are playing as well. So I just kind of see it as I'm lucky to work in different environments. So
Yes, indeed.
you know, so
And that leads into, good segue, because I was going to say his idea to do the food LP.
right.
And he's like, right, you know what I mean? You two should do it.
just do a track together.
Yeah. And then, you hit me with that beat. I was like, boy, this is some party shit, man. You know what I mean? Young mice. Yo, this is some party shit, man. Yeah, party. Yeah, but what kind of party can I write about that? I don't want to just do normal party shit, man. I want to make it like a party where, what about if I make it like my type of party where it's a party that no one ain't. Yeah. That was the voice in my head. Yo, you should do that. A party that no one ain't ever been to before. You know what I mean? Like I was saying about that whole punchline stuff being called a punchline MC, I didn't really want that, but a lot of people used to say that because, that's what you were hearing. And yeah, I started thinking about, okay, so what's the best type of mindset to have in terms of making it bigger than that? And I was like, right, you make the whole track a punch. It's a big punch in the face. So it's not just a punchline, it's a punch track, like, you know what I mean? Yeah, and then, so that came to me, and yeah, man, you were like, yo, I was like, oh, man, as long as the producer's liking it, yeah, I'm good, man. So when you were like, yeah, I see the back of the head, it's like, like when you see the back of the head, the producer, and you know, you're like, yeah, I'm doing
Producer
something
bop.
good. Yeah, the producer bop. Yeah, and then from there, man, that was it. It was like, yo, we need to do more. You know what I mean? We ended up doing all sneaky tracks where, yeah, man are coming in like, right, what's going on with that tune there? Who's tuning
Always
that?
press stop when it's coming in. What's that for? No, it's all, keep playing it. No, it's alright, Jay. It's alright, it's cool.
Man. Jeez. Yeah, the good old days, man. Yeah, the days in Devonshire Street were good as well. It was nice to be up in West End.
It's weird when you forget how convenient it was being that close to everything.
Yeah,
And especially like when One Extra was down the road as well. So even, that was an era. That was a nice era.
Yeah, for real, man. And now you've moved into more of the other stuff you're really into, which is
The film and TV, the composition. Yeah.
Yeah. How's that been going, man?
That's been cool. That's been an interesting journey.
You've
so
been
far.
making moves, bruv.
Getting there.
Yeah.
Well, I'm trying to build up my show reel, but at the same time as building up my show reel, I've actually been landing a couple of jobs in that. So, and worked on a documentary that's hopefully coming out later on in the year, but it's been nominated for like won an award in some of the festival circuits already.
Oh, it has?
Yeah. So that's called Urbano, and I did the sound design for that, and then I think touch wood, I've done some stuff on a commercial that's about to come out, and working on another short film, and just been like just going around doing bits and like documentaries and stuff like that, trying to build it up. So, you know, I'm coming for Marvel. I'm coming for that Marvel film. That's what I'm trying to get.
Coming for that Marvel,
You know,
boy.
or John Wick 5. If I can get ready for John Wick. Actually, no. Let's get it topical. If I can get myself on Attack the Block 2, because when's that going? Like next year or something like that.
Which one's Attack the Block? Oh, Attack the Block, man.
Yeah, they're doing the sequel to it, innit? So,
Is it?
Aiming for that.
probably too tight release schedule. You never know. But
Isn't that Noel Clark?
no,
I'm joking.
keep me out of that stuff.
Would you
bro.
do it? Would you? All right, right, for real. Put you on the spot. Would
Oh,
you
wow.
Would you do a Noel Clark soundtrack if you?
Well, that's like asking about one of your lyrics. Isn't it? It's like asking what your favourite lyric is, isn't it? On a particular day, if you ask me that question, no, I'm just not getting involved in that discussion at all, bruv.
Nah.
No, I'm not getting involved in it.
What was it?
I don't know. No, Lou?
What's your favourite Noel Clark film?
Yeah.
No. Would he
I work with him.
do would he score his soundtrack?
I'm not getting involved in it.
Yeah, it's tricky nowadays, isn't it?
Yeah. Not saying nothing.
What people do for money, boy. I guess, like, you know, someone would do it, I guess, because it'd be like, boy.
Doesn't matter how close you put it to my mouth, I'm not getting involved in it, bruv. Simple as that. No comment.
Try to draw it out of
No
it,
comment.
boy. We say, look, would you do, you know what I mean? Do the soundtrack for my man, boy. You know, you'd be like, right, bruv, I didn't know, innit? I didn't know about all of that. Yeah, it's deep. I don't really understand the full story either, but, you know, I think these days it's best to keep away from the networks, man, because, you know, they just seem to be poisoning people's brains.
Yeah.
I thought about this, man. You know, like there's all this talk about zombies. Like, think about, Walking Dead. You know, it was all right. I watched it. I got into it and that, but it wasn't like amazing. It was all right. It's just something you have in the background while you're writing or whatever. Mm-hmm. And then they tried they come off with, what was it? Fear the Walking Dead. It was like extra shit. You're like, bruv, come on, man. Like, the first one was all right. Like, you lot are trying to come with some next all right shit. But obviously, it's doing well for someone.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like, someone likes it, and then they got all these after, you know, like, yeah, let's talk about the show after. Yeah. You know, so all these things,
milking it.
milking it. You're like, right, so these are really pushing this zombie thing. And like, people are expecting zombies like, you know, to be running around doing whatever madness. But maybe the zombie is just a metaphor for how, you know, people have just switched off. They've actually turned into zombies for real.
Yeah, there's already zombies.
And like we're getting used to it.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? And we're trying to move amongst them now and survive in some weird way. We don't realize it. Like we didn't realize they were trying to tell us that. What about that? Do you reckon?
Spot on. Brains.
It's weird, man. Brains, yeah.
Wish I had some brains. That's the zombies now, isn't it? So
it's weird, man. And you know, like, it's like anything that comes on now, people just, it's like they run to that. That's like the news that gets spread out, on the mainstream, is like when they bang, 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 you know, The Walking Dead, they like bang pots and pans and that. That's what that is. And then all the zombies go, yeah. They start talking about, they said that, blah, 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 blah.
Yeah.
Ghislaine, you know, so all this stuff.
That's exactly what it is.
And it's like, bruv, it's never ending. Like, when are you going to be you? When do you just be, you know what I mean? When do you just go and enjoy yourself and forget all of this madness? Like, at what point does that happen, you know? That's what we really got to think about, especially in these times, man. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Pubs are open now, so
Yeah, that's true.
check yourself in.
Brains.
Yeah.
You know, order your drink from the app. Not just a normal day out, a normal night out. You know, where you give them your name and address, or scan your phone on the way in, and then you order your drinks from an app.
What, at the
It's
pub?
Normal night out. It's normal night out.
Yeah, I don't know about all that. That doesn't sound
Go
too
bowling
normal,
afterwards.
but boy.
What's the other thing you're allowed to do now? Cinema.
Mm.
Oh, what?
open?
Cinemas are back, yeah?
Mm.
I think so.
Yeah, that's not bad. I hope it ain't. You know what I mean? And even just going out now, I feel like people are going to be weird going out, even if everyone said, yeah, hey, it's all done now, there's no more. People be like, hi. And then people do that, hi, yeah, right. Right.
It'd be the people cleaning their hands after you've like said hello to them or whatever, and they're just like, that's how you're gonna know which of your friends think you're just dirty.
Oh, man. Yeah, it's true,
They'll
you know.
just be like, oh, good to see you, yeah, good to see you. And you'll go out and they'll just be like, yeah, good to see you.
You're right about that. Shout out to Log. He said, keep away from the dark energy. Space O, he said, can't stop flogging the dead horse. Craig RS says, keep our backs to the water. To the water, yeah? Maybe to the wall. I've got a feeling he might have meant to the wall, but I'm not sure. I could be wrong. Like you always say, be where the energy feels right. That's what Locke said. And it's very true, man. I think that's the best way to deal with life is, you know, do things that you enjoy doing as opposed to
Exactly.
getting too buried into things that you hate. I can never really understand that part of this unsocial media. Social media, by the way, that's the beginning of social distancing, if you ask me. Because people got way too comfortable with not speaking face to face, just typing all the shit that they want to say, whether it's texting, you know, DMing and whatever it is.
Voice
It's like,
notes.
bruv, man, yeah. And now you lot are all too shy. You'd rather swipe left and right. That's your meeting somebody at the bar now. When you finally meet them, you don't even know what to say. But yeah.
Just tell them to have check my IG.
Yeah.
I just sent you a DM.
Yeah.
Man, it's crazy, man. You know what I mean? Yeah, and so, boy, I just feel like people should get a bit more back to who they really are, man, and not get too carried away with this whole separation that we got from each other, because it's getting to some people, you can tell, you know? And it doesn't have to be like that, my friends. It does not have to be like that. So what's in the pipeline then? Black Einstein, a.k.a. C-Swing. Are you still going with the C-Swing, or are you done with that now?
killed that years
No, you
ago.
killed that. So
Killed that
Black
years ago.
Einstein, Colin Emmanuel, yeah.
People never let it go, but I killed it years ago. So, What's happening next? Not much really.
So it's this advert.
It's that
coming
next
up,
thing.
yeah.
I
You
guess.
said you
I guess so. I mean, sorry, I'm crap at selling myself, so I'm always sort of like, oh, nothing really. I'm
Yeah.
still working on the next documentary. I'm doing some music for another documentary, and
This
and
guy, man.
putting together some EPs and some music and things. So
He's a piss taker.
what?
Just documentary, yeah. Ain't nothing.
You know, it's just.
Yeah, whatever, man.
It's just notes to me, innit? So, 'cause
Nah,
I hate all
hear
that. I hate all that sort of like. I wish I could be one of those guys that like, yeah, well, I got this coming next, and I'm working on this, and I'm excited about that, and blah blah blah. But I'm just sort of like, yeah, I'm just staying busy, innit? You know when it's out. I'll tell you then.
Yeah, no, I hear that. I hear that. It's funny as well because now the like the game has changed where before it was really important that you had all your material ready and then announced, or what would happen a lot of the time is they would announce, yeah, this album's coming, and then you're working on it,
Right.
you know, in between then, whenever they said, yeah, they're gonna do it, and then when the release is coming, so you're kind of on the go and sweating to get it done. Whereas now, you can be like, yeah, next week, drop it. You know what I mean?
Yeah, there's that side of it, and there's also the side as well that I worked on stuff long enough now that sometimes stuff just don't come out, or things go wrong and it don't come out.
That's true.
So by the time you're saying, yeah, I got this dropping, and next minute it's not about to come out, or they've changed who's gonna mix it or whatever. So that being said, I have just the current Baby Soul single that's out. I co-produced that.
Oh yeah, Baby
so
Soul.
that's out
Yeah,
as well.
yeah.
So yeah, and me and you meant to be doing a project at some point, latter half the year. So
Yeah, man.
we're mastering people's albums and that as well. So it's just keeping busy, really, innit? I mean, I'm gonna try and do more on social media anyway to kind of like promote what I'm doing because I know that I should do it more. But just in general, I'm just a bit.
Now I think that's the side of this music stuff business that was like hard for a lot of people that were there before the internet era to transition over into. You know what I mean?
Definitely.
Like the whole thing of being like online and posting this, that, and the third, and hey, look at this is my life, this is what I'm doing. And
Right.
a lot of people kind of. I mean, I think in the end, quite a few people now are online regularly and whatnot, but it's still like it's I think for us this is like, yeah, I'll just post for the for the people that want to know what I'm doing, as opposed to post for everybody just to just to remember that I'm still here type thing. Do you know what I mean? And not that there's people that do that, but not that there's nothing wrong with that. But it's like it isn't the same thing anymore. It's not like standing outside handing out your flyers. This is what I'm here to do. I'm not really here to be just chatting, saying what I'm doing today or whatnot. Here's promotion.
Right.
Whereas now it's turned into that, like, hey, this is a form of promotion. Right, so now I'm just making my breakfast. Okay, yeah, now I'm on my way to the studio. Okay, I'm at the studio now. You know what I mean? Like,
Right.
it was your whole life. So I get what you're saying. But at the same time, because you've got a creative mind, there's you've had your little avenues of showing people production.
Bits, yeah.
Yeah. What's the is it the Resco?
Oh, the Risco stuff.
Yeah. What's that?
That's where basically the concept is you find a film trailer and then you find the original score for that film, and then you basically flip some sort of break using only the score from the original film, and then sync it to the trailer. So I started doing that like as a way of one of my weak points when I got into doing the film and TV stuff was syncing stuff to picture in terms of like hitting various spots in the film and stuff like that. So it's a way of kind of practicing getting my timing right. But also I've just got this mad idea of like kind of much as I like doing all the string stuff, I still love flipping beats. So to kind of flip beats to a picture instead of like working out string arrangements and stuff like that keeps the chops going as well, if you know what I mean. Like can I make a hip hop or a breakbeat version of this that still works with the picture, etc. And You know, gets a bit mad scientist at times, but kind of works. I did about 6 of those, and I want to restart that again at some point this year and go back to them.
Yeah,
So I got
yeah.
a list of titles of trailers I want to look at and try and knock out some music for.
Yeah.
Because sometimes you get like a nice piece of music or a nice trailer, but there's too much talking in it, or so you can't do that much with it. But sometimes when you get the right one, it's like the Battle of the Planets one. I'm quite proud of that. That works neatly.
Battle of the Planets.
Yeah, that's the one I'm proudest of. That's got some nice sub in it.
Right, shout out to La Verdad es muy católica. Did I say that right? I think I did. But he's saying, My Stiggy, come back to do year-end raps. What kind of raps? You know what I mean?
We spoke about that last week.
Yeah, I spoke about that on the last one. Well, yeah, the last one, which was the first one. And yeah, man, you know, I think I covered everything enough that you'd understand why I don't do them anymore. And this guy was the producer of all of them.
I can
all
add
5 of them.
an addendum to what you said last week. To follow on from what Mike said last week, I want my Christmas back, and it's been cool having my Christmas back. Thank you very much. Because that schedule was mad. Because literally it was from Boxing Day, innit? On Christmas dinner, then Boxing Day in the studio, and then usually possibly one more day back after Boxing Day to make sure the rap is tight, and then mixing it to get it all out for Christmas, to get it out for New Year's Day. Yeah, later, bro.
Yeah.
Later.
And imagine
missing out on seconds, missing out on the warm-ups and the leftovers and stuff. Nah, man, forget.
Rounds, you're missing out on you know, like when people were cheersing, you're like,
Yeah.
oh right, you lot just man, I missed out on that.
For a couple of retweets.
Champagne.
That's what I got out of it. That's what I got out of it. A couple of retweets. So I'm keeping it real.
Yeah,
so, you know,
nah,
it's
I hear
like,
that.
glad they enjoyed it. But when you're ready, though, because I'm there for you, it's all good. But I'm having my Christmases right about now, to be honest with you.
Yeah, I think it would probably be smarter to just like do it through the year as opposed to wait till the end of the year, innit? If we're gonna do it, because it feels
was a lot
less, less strenuous.
You can just do it on here.
Yeah, that's true. That's a good point.
Weekly, just a
Might be
weekly
there.
wrap up.
Yeah,
Just
weekly
have a
wrap
little-
ups.
We'll just have a little like. UK.
Weekly wrap ups right now, boy. It'd be like, right.
They'd still be just as long as the end of year ones.
Could
right
sound
about now.
repetitive as hell as well. It
Well, I think it was a nice challenge though to actually do it in that amount of time and the subjects we got in and stuff like that.
Yeah,
You know,
yeah, for sure.
It's definitely like beneficial. Got a lot out of doing it, and I did like the responses and what it meant, if you know what I mean. But just now that I've had time away from it to actually think about what we actually went through in those period of time over those years, that's a lot, man.
Brother,
a lot.
and I remember and I think I kind of swept by it, but it's like, you know, imagine there's artists, managers, they're like, oh, Mice, do you want to go out for lunch? Rare. I'm like, oh, wow, yeah, cool. To go for lunch. You're thinking, oh, right, my man's thinking to manage me and all that. Chatting. Then he's like, oh, so you know my guys are doing the... Like, oh, yeah, cool. Yeah, so you're going to do a wrap-up this year then? You're like, oh, what? Like, oh, right. So
That's the church.
this is all to get me to
Yeah.
to do mention your. Well, I was like, what? I don't. This ain't what I want to do this for, man. This ain't. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That's not fun. Like, people used to be like, yo, you should charge people to mention them in the wrap up. Was like, right, that's kind of weird. You know, but I bloody should have, man.
Sure.
Do you know what I mean?
But it was like towards the end, getting on the verge of kind of corporate-ish.
Yeah.
In kind of like what kind of style we could do and all that. Even though we had kind of a lot of freedom in what we were doing, there was a lot of sort of like, well, it can't be this kind of beat and we can't mention that and all that kind of stuff. And it's just all that punchline's a bit too sharp and stuff like that. It's just all like, you know what? The fun's kind of, this is coming like a bit of a job.
Yeah, big up. Hey, shout out to D Rocker, man. Easy Biggs is in the building, boy. Biggs is in the building.
Sup.
Yeah, man. But yeah, the thing with the wrap ups, that, you know, like I said, what I enjoyed about it is that I could just rap about, you know, all this stuff that's going on and kind of take the mick out of it in a way, you know, have fun with it. But then it started to feel a little bit like people were hitting me up to, you know what I mean, just
Just to be on it.
Yeah, and or saying weird things. Where I was like, okay, it's all about the wrap ups now. Yeah. So and then dropped something in between, and it felt like people didn't really care about it as much.
Yeah.
And that kind of puts you off because you're like, oh, you'd rather I talk about all of this like famous ass shit
Then check out your own.
than
shit.
yeah. Like yeah, and maybe it's my fault for even thinking that that's what it was. It might have been something else, but just that kind of is another reason to throw you off, as well as all the other stuff I mentioned last week, like about all the weird situations with it. So in the end, and like you said, missing out on your Christmases and all that, he's just like, bruv, you know what? Maybe I just wrap up. You know what I mean? Shut this crap up, bruv. Yeah, but shout out to all the people that still follow me anyway, man. Even though, you're not getting your wrap-ups and whatnot. But guaranteed someone every year since we ain't done it has been like, yo, man, so you're going to do a wrap-up this year? Did I do a wrap-up last year? Yeah. But did some MMA ones. I think I might do some more of them. Like, I enjoyed doing them. But just condense it down to...
I think you'd write four lines a week for every show. We'll just put a beat on and then you just do your 4 lines and it's done.
Yeah, that's a good idea.
The most controversial thing of the week.
Yeah. Say the most fucked up shit.
So is that one of the most common questions you get asked then? Sorry.
It is. It looks like it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
When you wrap up.
When you going to do a wrap up?
Because mine is like, are you still producing?
The wrap up.
No, just in general.
No, just are you still producing? Are you still producing the wrap up?
Like the amount of times like the wrap up would come out and someone would be like, when you putting something out, and I'd be like, yeah, that's out now. Oh, okay. I thought you'd stopped. Oh, okay, cool. Whatever.
Yeah, or you get that weird. This is another weird one. Yo, man, I heard the wrap up, man. You smashed it, man. You smashed it. And then 2 minutes later, so you still making music? And
Right.
stuff?
That's what I'm talking about.
Bruv, yes, man. Come on. That's when you start. I don't know. For me, I start getting worried about like, right, are they really here? Are they, which level of consciousness are they at right now when you're asking that, and then 2 minutes later, that's the question. Or is it just awkwardness? Did awkwardness make that happen? I know these people. Some of these people feel a bit awkward when they're around me, like, this industrial thing where you gotta, hey, I've got to look this way and smell this way and walk this way and then talk this way, and like, nah, bro, just relax, man. You know what I mean? You don't need to be all doing all that weird shit that people do.
So what about Craig R? Craig RS.
Craig RS.
Maybe pigeonholed for the YouTube generation, but for UK hip hop, we are missing any kind of unified voice.
Good point.
Yeah, that's a good point, man. I mean, I think you've got a very good point, but what I will say is that the other thing is what I noticed is it just didn't feel like they were, it was getting around enough. Like, I don't know whether it's down to us. I did as much as I could. You did as much as you could when we're posting it and for people to see it and whatnot. But it always seemed like it was like, the first day or two, people were sharing it about, but then
just died. Yeah,
it just kind of didn't carry on. And so I definitely hear what Craig is saying, but at the same time, you feel like, right, it should be a butterfly effect. Like, right, everyone in the scene should be going crazy. If they don't, it's fair enough. I'm not mad at it or nothing like that. But if that was the case, like, this is a pillar for the scene or whatnot, I think it only happened to a certain extent. And, that's how it is, man. It's a tough sport, do you know what I mean? It's a tough sport. Yeah. And it's not a sprint. And
there's politics. It's sport and politics, isn't it? It's just a bad mix.
Yeah, there's always politics in the game, man. I never came in really being part of any cliques in terms of, the UK hip hop scene. So, I've always had to deal with things on my own anyway, and so I'm not that bothered about. I get it as well, because obviously people feel like, but if I big up that, then people are gonna hear that and not think that, and think that I'm not. But it's like, how many of you out there only have one artist in your collection of music. Like no one does. You listen to all types of artists. So that's never really going to happen. That's where the unity needs to come in, is where people really throw away, get rid of their egos, just shed all of that, at least or learn to control it or whatnot, and think about like the moments that we're making for memories, you know what I mean, and for enjoyment. Like the people that are out there come pay to see, whether it be a big showcase or whatever, or, they're really the ones that we should be doing it for. It's not about us, it's not about us as artists. And so it could have been the same thing, or it still is. It is like to an extent, but we see it like with the grime scene. There's a big part of the reason why they did really well and made a lot of noise is because even when they're clashing and whatnot, them lot are clashing, but they're still promoting each other.
Right.
Do you know what I mean? And it didn't seem like a big thing to do it. It didn't seem like, oh, bruv, I beg you post this for me, and that sort of thing. It just seemed like they were just all doing it anyway. Whereas with the UK hip hop scene, it's like clicky.
Do you think like the industry has always had something against UK hip hop anyway? Do you think there's like, because it seems that like they'll do anything but promote UK hip hop. They'll promote all other types of like urban music.
Yeah, what I honestly think,
UK hip hop has never had that. Like I remember like back when, say, like what track was it? Ty and
rest in peace, Ty, man.
Roots Maneuver?
No, he done. Yeah, well, I suppose around that time, probably like early 2000s or something. I can't remember who Ty done a collaboration with.
What is it?
No, it's Turn It Up a Little. You know that track?
Was it Esca? No.
It's a couple of producers. I can't remember.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
But it got sort of like airplay.
Not the Next Man.
Yeah, I think it is it?
Yeah, it's the Next Man, maybe. Yeah.
And then it's sort of like a lot more sort of not commercial music, but like a lot more like accessible UK hip hop started coming out that they could have easily just played on the radio.
Right.
But they didn't play anything until like Dizzy came out, and then they just played Dizzy and they didn't really play anymore. And the Streets.
Right.
It's like this sort of like anything but UK hip hop. Like they promoted everything else around it, and then you started moving into grime and all that sort of thing.
Right.
And now if you listen to, your average Radio 1 show or whatever, one, you've never heard of these people rapping.
Right.
And two, it's like at such a level of, it's not entertaining in any way.
Stan DNA.
I don't know. It's at a level of like sort of. It's not very challenging.
Okay. Like diplomacy. Diplomacy spot on.
Yeah.
How does it advance the game?
But yeah, why do you think that would be? Why is that? I mean, do you feel like it's sort of always tried to push UK hip hop stuff away? Or?
Do you know what I think? Yeah, this is, and I know it's going to sound a bit too much for some people, but I believe, that there were people, sort of in the mid to going into late 90s that were trying to do their thing in like hip hop in the UK, and they, it might not have worked out or whatnot, but then they switched over to becoming in the industry, so managers or working labels or this, that, and the third, and then as they've got into that, and then had slight resentment towards the scene, whether they know you or not, whether they've even listened to your music or not, whether they're, they care or not. You might be even related to them, but they don't realize, they don't know, but they're just, it's like UK, someone from the UK trying to do what I was doing before. It's like, but then when grime and whatnot come out, it's like, this is something from the UK, but it's different. It also it was raw, do you know what I mean? But I feel like, as well as them being younger, I think it was more like, yeah, I'm gonna put my, heart and soul into this. I want this to blow up. Like, forget all of that stuff there, because I know exactly what you mean. It always felt like, wow, man, you get like this. How comes we're hearing really good music? We're hearing really good rappers, whatnot, but it's still not getting pushed the way that you'd think it would or should. I think a few artists did get signed, but didn't really do that well, and that kind of made people turn their back, in terms of labels and whatnot. Major labels turn their back on the scene in a way as well, and then obviously like not getting as much airplay. Like, look, even everyone knew like Westwood is only the last 10 minutes of the show that we get. It's like, what would that tell you? You know what I mean? If that's all guaranteed, that's all you're going to be getting. And then obviously we may not have looked the way that the sort of mainstream would, want us to look if they were going to promote us. Do you know what I mean? They may not, because everyone didn't really care about trying to look glamorous or anything in any way. It's just like making music, and you know what I mean? So I think it's a mixture of those sort of things, but I do think there's something to the people behind the scenes had a little bit of resentment towards the UK hip hop scene, because they might have been part of it or tried to be part of it in some form of way. I've seen it myself, and I noticed there's a little pattern of right. There's a few heads like that. You know what I mean?
I can see that being the case. It's generally like that with A&R, I think, anyway. Is that A&R guys tend to be someone from your favourite band. And that's how they get in, is through this thing of like, remember me? I was famous once.
I think around that sort of time, but yeah.
And they sort of then go out scouting for younger talent. And maybe with Grime, there was someone who could be exploited as well.
Yeah, there's definitely that.
Who wasn't cynical about the industry, because I think a lot of the UK hip hop thing is like, part of it is a cynicism.
Yeah.
Towards the whole, like,
to conforming.
Blowing up type thing.
Yeah, there's that. There's definitely that.
There's also the element as well that sometimes you get situations at labels where you'd have a young A&R sign a UK hip hop artist, but he wouldn't have necessarily the clout or the power to actually get the album out that he envisioned. So that's when you used to get, so and so's been signed, and the album would come out and be like, but they've killed it on the album. The album's watered down or whatever.
Yeah. Because
they haven't been able to make the decisions they wanted to make. If you know what I mean, because there's someone higher up who thinks it should sound. It's their version of what they think it should sound. If you know what I mean. So immediately their hands are tied as to how much power they've got. You get where I'm coming from?
Yeah.
Well, I remember.
So sometimes it's not even. Sometimes the intention's there, but just the people higher up in the machinery just don't get it. If you know what I'm saying. So even like in terms of, as you were saying, the way we dressed and stuff like that, like the person who's actually signed the artist may know who should style the artist. Like, okay, well, obviously you're going to get styled by this person, and we'll go this particular route. But by the time it gets to the big machinery, they don't understand any of that world at all. So there's a complete disconnect between what that young person's trying to bring through, that young A&R is trying to bring through, and what the main machinery sees, if you know what I'm saying.
Yeah.
And I think what's happening now is the gap is smaller, but the market's now completely changed.
Yeah.
So do you like?
Good point.
Yeah. I hear what you're saying there. I think, yeah. It's a funny one, man. But like,
because I'll give you an example. I've worked on albums where I've been told, for example, the track's too black, and I'm working with a black artist because that A&R man just doesn't get it.
You just like, tell me about it.
Huh?
Yeah.
No, I just said, but
yes, I know.
I mean, because now I wouldn't say anything, but back then I just went, there's a bit of a problem then because we're both black, so what were you expecting? But at the same time, it's sort of like, now I get it. I'm just sort of like, yeah, but you just don't, that's not your world. You don't get it. What I really needed was an A&R man who could have like negotiated the whole business world, but actually understood what I was, still understood where he was coming from. The amount of A&R men that I've met that you'll play something to them and they'll be like, oh, I love D'Angelo, couldn't sign him though. It's like, but you've bought the album. So surely you want to sign something that you'd buy, right? But you've already put into your head that you can't market that through the label that you work at. Because of the machinery you're in, if you know what I'm saying. So sometimes the intention's there, but they just think to themselves, well, I can't do it here, or they're blocked, or they're told you can't do that. I've been involved in projects, but I've had tracks turned around or changed because the version I put in, everyone loved. Then it goes to the next level up. I need a radio mix then.
He's like, no, we need more cowbell.
Yeah, we need a radio with it. Which basically put a 4 on the floor on it. But you know, it's like, okay, cool, fine.
Yeah, it's tricky, man.
Yeah,
that whole. Did you have to come by that? Because obviously, like you said, you work on pop music as well. Is there a level of like, okay, nah, I ain't gonna do that when it comes to the, you know, whether you're the integrity, like things that you wouldn't normally do. Yeah.
I'd say I'd go for. I've definitely gone through phases where I was sort of like an artist, and I'm not doing that. I've done that a couple of times, if you know what I mean. Yeah. And then there's been a few times where it's just sort of like take one for the team and just do it, if you know what I mean. But I think the line I drew was when most A&R men will always say, and it's not even A&R men, just people in general, when they want a particular track will say, can you make it sound like, or can you give me a style like?
Yes,
I was actually asked to copy another producer, and the producer was a friend.
Yeah.
Like another UK producer.
Yeah.
And I'm just sort of like, plus that guy would get paid like 5 times more than what I was getting paid. So 1, you're asking me because you think I'm cheaper. But 2, that's like our mate, and you're asking me to rip off what he's just done. That's a bit, come on, man, that's like scraping the barrel. I'm not doing that. I'm not doing that. You should either go and ask him to do it, or ask someone else, but don't ask me to do it when we're all in the same crew and that. That's a bit, nah.
So do you think that a UK hip hop artist from the late 90s, early 2000s would do better now if they had what's around now? So like self-releasing platforms like DistroKid or you know, like the whole sort of Spotify.
Would you basically saying what if Low Life started?
TikTok.
So if Low Life started today, would it be a success?
Yeah.
Shout out to Biggs, man. Bless up, bruv. Good to see you.
That's a good question.
Craig RS says, A&R says it needs more drill.
Yeah, spot on.
Yeah, they're really drilling this drill into us now, isn't it?
You got any drill tracks, see? No, I haven't.
The thing is, man, and it's that thing of like, you know, it's fair enough, yeah, there's drill, but then there's a whole load of other stuff as well.
Right.
Why can't we get, you know what I mean? A little pick and mix of everything, and then people can, you know, venture off into what they, but it's like, we all know, man, if you don't know, it's fact that the more you listen to something, the more you end up liking it. That's how the radio works. That's why you hear tunes every 15 minutes. You hear the same tune every 15 minutes because in the end you're going to like it. And that's the same thing with when they're playing all the same music. Drill. It's like, oh, no, this tune's all right now. And you're looking at your brethren like, right, bruv, you into this now, yeah. It's like, but, you know, so you can't blame people. And a lot of drill actually isn't that bad, you know what I mean? Like, in terms of the music and whatnot. It's just the lyrics is like, boy, really, you know, anyway, that's a whole nother podcast. But even still, even though we enjoy other styles of music as well. So why not why is it all got to be like slackness? Why is it all got to be negative? It doesn't always have to be like that, you know what I mean? But yeah, shout out to the crew that was locked in. We appreciate you lot. Keep this one moving. We're going to work on some more bits and pieces to, you know what I mean? You see, we got a different setup. What do you think about this setup where we've got mics there, you know what I mean? Yeah, you got a bit more of the couch, background. We might have to try green screen on the next one.
Yeah.
See what kind of fun we can have.
Try tidying up.
Yeah, that's a good idea, actually. I never thought about
What's this magic you talk of?
who doth thou? Yeah, man. So we got projects to be working on.
We got stuff to
Yeah,
work on.
boy.
We're always talking shit, man. You know, we always getting stuff.
There's some tunes in the vaults as well.
There's
We
loads.
got to brush off.
There's enough. There's enough.
And bring out, man.
So,
Yeah, what have you got planned? Anything, or what's like music wise?
Documentary and there's a EP of Hiatus Coyote where I've kind of like chopped up some of their beats, and I'm hoping to put that out at some point.
Okay.
So, which I've been sitting on for a while, but I might like drop that later on this year. But I don't want it to mess up. I don't want it to clash with their new album. So I'm kind of waiting for that kind of to die down a bit, and then I'll probably throw it out. Plus, I don't want to reach out to them to get their permission to do it as well anyway. So, but it's done. I just kind of like want their blessing, so I don't get sued or nothing. And I'm hoping
suicide. It's a suicide.
yeah, hoping to put out some instrumental stuff this year, and you know, carry on with my production and keep building. Really, and just keep enjoying what I'm doing at the moment, because I ain't been enjoying it for ages. So this is great at the moment to be getting into it again and stuff like that.
And how have you enjoyed the last 14-month holiday you've had?
Well, being a sufferer of social anxiety, this has been, I hate to be like cliched, but I've loved it. I'm finding now more stressful than the last 14 months.
Why? Because
People are now coming back into my territory. I'm just sort of like, man, for 14 months, no one was bugging me. I could actually be like a proper on my own git. Now it's sort of like, well, you got to go out and socialise, haven't you? And it's sort of like, I wasn't before.
Do you remember people?
Do you remember? I've been trying to forget them, to be honest with you, but okay, cool.
Alright, man.
So no, it's not that bad, but I'm getting a little bit stressed by it, but I'll be cool. Just adjusting to it.
Yeah, you'll get used to it.
But yeah, I actually found it, for want of like not getting too deep, it gave me a chance to catch up. I always felt like I was trying to catch up to everybody, if you know what I'm saying. And the 14 months off has kind of given me a chance to, I feel like, catch up, like mentally and physically, and getting my sleep and sorting stuff out at home and just getting back up to speed. Because studios can be like, there's no windows there, man. Once you get locked into a beat and you just get on with it, you forget about life, if you know what I'm saying. So to be out of it, out of the bubble for a minute, in a different bubble, but to be out of it and just be sort of like, okay, cool, I can stop stressing for a minute, because there isn't going to be a phone call.
Well, the world moves fast, and it was like literally slowing the world.
Yeah.
The whole thing.
Yeah, time went fast. It slowed the world down, but time went fast.
Yeah.
It was a mother lover, boy.
Yeah.
Quick days, long years.
It's interesting, man, what you were saying. So, like, you know, like you're saying, the pressure of going through, sitting in the studio, making a beat, you know, like it's not like it's dark and dingy, but it's like there's no sunlight, you know, you might be in for 12 hours or whatever, and, you know, going through it, and then you produce this thing that comes out, goes out, and then people are dancing to it and enjoying themselves, you know what I mean? The parallel, like, it's two opposites, isn't it? Sitting there making the beat. I mean, obviously you're enjoying making the beat, but then there's the hours that once you start thinking about, all right, I know how this beat sounds now, and it's all about mixing it and whatnot.
Right.
It's quite painstaking.
There's a lot. It's a long and drawn out well, it can be a long and drawn out process, and it can get like stressful, and then it depends who you're working with as well, because sometimes no matter how long it takes, it's still a pleasure to work on. But if you get like someone who's just like a diva, or being pernickety, or someone who doesn't know what they want.
Like who?
What do you mean like who? Like when I'm working with you and you're saying like, you know, you just want the green M&Ms and stuff like that. I'm like, oh, mice, man, not today. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I thought he was going to bring up something else.
No, not throwing no shade or anything like that.
I'm joking though.
But no, just some jobs are easier than others. But it's always the end result's the most important thing.
Yeah, for real. Yeah, you're right about that, man. It is all about the end result, and it is. It's funny because that, like, I say to when people ask, "What do you enjoy the most?" I'm like, performing, bruv.
Right.
Like the whole writing and recording and whatnot is like and it's only because when you start, you know what I mean. It's like when you start a marathon or whatever, you're like, okay, boy, this is the beginning of this thing, you know. Whether it be, you know, it doesn't have to be that long even, but you just know that, all right, there's an end point and I'm at the beginning of this whole thing. So there's got to be a while till I get there. And that's the only thing that can put you off. But once you, like you said, once you start and you get into the flow of things, then it just, you know, it's like you've warmed up. Now the blood is flowing through your body, oxygen's going through. You're like, yeah, I'm ready to do this workout, you know. So it's similar thing like that, man.
Yeah, definitely. Because I don't know about you, but I find sometimes if you've done something like an epic piece of work, or you finish a particular project, the next day is just sort of like, proper like.
Okay. You feel accomplished? Or?
No, like flat. Like, okay, what do I do now? Like the rush from it, if you know what I'm saying. Like what you're saying when you finish the tour, for example, for a while you're just sort of like, when you're doing the Pete Tong stuff, you're saying afterwards for a while you're a little bit like, okay.
Yeah, you get tour blues, innit?
Yeah, and when I finish an album or something like that, sometimes I'm a bit sort of like, right.
Album blues.
Yeah, like, okay, I need to work on something. What's now? What do I do now? That's done. It's out. It's been received. And
I mean, when it comes to tunes, I usually kind of feel like that by the time it's out. I'm like, yeah, just get it out. But like, yeah, once I've done it, I've listened to it a few times anyway. So I've kind of got used to it. But yeah, touring can do that to you, man. When you, it's like when, I find as well, especially when it's tours where you've got a bunch of shows kind of jammed into one. You know, like a few in a go. So even if with Smokey Joe and the Kid, I might go away and we do 3 shows over the weekend or whatever. And when I come back, it's proper like, yo, you know, and it's, you don't even, you saying that has made me realize, but yeah, you don't even realize you got this kind of tour blues thing. And with the Pete Tong ones, because they were so big as well, it's like you got orchestra behind you, big massive crowds and whatnot, 15, 20,000 or whatever. That, you know, it's when we got 5 in a row or something like that, bam, and then you're done. And the next couple of days, it's like, right, what's wrong with me, man? Why do I feel like? And you're like, oh shit, you got tour blues, boy.
Yeah.
Tour blues, you know what I mean? We'll have to do a documentary about tour blues. Wow, you man them know about tour blues though, like. Yo, shout out to the crew that's locked in. Gravediggers class, Space O said, Gravediggers class. Yeah, Gravediggers. We're talking about that, isn't it?
Gravediggers lyric.
Come on, man. Gravediggers. Woo. They did some albums, boy. That Diary of a Madman. That track, man. Jeez, yeah. Come on, man. That was, that's creative shit right there as well. You know, even the name, and then they stuck with it, that whole kind of, it's like, digging people from there.
28 years ago.
Is that long?
93.
Wow, was it 93?
Wow.
Well, 94, wasn't it?
93. I might have
the
been
first
recorded
album.
93,
Yeah, it's probably recorded 93. Yeah, you're right. Jeez, man. Yeah, you're right about that, man. Gravediggers. And that was the other thing about the Woo stuff, was that it was like, you know, the reference to suicide. It's a suicide. Yeah, for real. You know, with Wu, it was like, you had the Wu-Tang Clan, and then all of a sudden you got like, the Killer Bees, and you've got all these like offshoots of the Wu family and Killer Army, you know what I mean, Royal Fam, and that shit. Shabazz the Disciple, like, man, I really enjoyed those days where it's, especially, I don't know, you were into comics.
Yeah.
People were into comics, you know, were really drawn to it because that's what it felt like. You had all these different characters, different style of rapping as well, and you know what I mean? Yeah, that shit was fun. But yo, we better get out of here, man. Yeah, we better get out of here. We want to shout out everybody that was locked in. Shout out to Dan DNA for holding us down. Space O said Liquid Swords. Yeah, Liquid Swords, another one. Jizza. People, all right, last one. Who's your favorite rapper from Wu-Tang Clan?
Meth.
D? It's a hard one, isn't it?
Yeah.
Favorite rapper from Wu-Tang Clan.
Probably RZA, I think.
Yeah, I always mention RZA, yeah. I always say for me, yeah, it's out of Jizza and RZA. Depends on what day, you know? Some days you feel like this, some days you feel like that. But today, yeah, Jizza, man. Jizza, I feel like, yeah, Jizza's probably my favourite out of the Wu. But, man, Inspector Deck's sick as well.
Yeah, that would have been the next one.
And obviously, like, Ray and Ghost have got their thing.
Yeah.
So I just saw someone's comment. That's all. It's cool.
What they say?
No, just The Rocker taking some shots at me about some football stuff, but it's all cool. It's all cool.
You lot on your football, man.
Not me. That's why I don't usually read the comments, but it's all good, bruv. I see you. It's all cool. I'm gonna see you, bruv. I'm gonna see you.
Yo. So yeah, man. More of this to come, man. As you can see, you know what I mean? We're gonna try out some other backgrounds and setups, see what works. Some of you lot mentioned we should do 2 a week. We'll see how that goes, because you know what I mean, we've got other stuff to do as well. Here at the bunker, the main thing we do is make mother loving music. Do you know what I mean? But seeing as we got these toys, we thought we might as well, do this live stream. Let's see what this live stream is about. I'm starting to like it, man. I'm getting into it. You know what I mean? We just work out like what times and when and where. You know, we got to learn our little bits as well.
Yeah.
Yeah, man.
Got to do the apprenticeship.
Yeah, got to do the apprenticeship, bruv.
Right.
Each one teach one. This is how the world should really work. Imagine if everybody taught everyone how to fish. Everyone, what do you do? Oh, I do this. What do you do? I do this. All right.
I'm a fisherman.
Let's teach
I'm
you.
a fisherman.
I'm a fisherman. Oh, wait. Do you want to teach me how to fish? No, I'll teach you how to fish. Well, you know what I mean.
Sorry.
You lot messed up my exiting. I was trying to
monologue.
My exiting monologue. I was trying to lead into positive,
Straight
like
to the
Zen.
camera.
I was all gonna levitate, like out into the. All right.
My Stiggy's final thoughts.
So yeah, my final thoughts are: if you are a producer, you better be as good as Jay Dillon. Nah, joke. Now, wait, thanks for listening in, you lot, man. Thanks for locking in. I see a couple other people. Anthony Turner come in. Hit you up, mother lover. So we're going to be back probably next week. We'll work out a few more logistics. You know what I mean? As you can see, we're getting more into this. And we're going to try and do some more live streaming. We're going to hook up the Skype as well so that we could do chit chats with people around the world. And yeah, glad that there's people out there that want to see more of this. It's time that we had a voice for the UK hip hop scene, like, you know, that people are a bit more familiar with, I guess. Chatting with different artists and people from behind the scenes and whatnot, producers, because there's a lot of talent still out there, no matter what anyone says, you know, regardless of whether any radio stations are really playing as much as they could. And we just need more outlets, man. Shout out to Blade. I know he started something up as well. Going to be chatting with him soon. Shout to Shotgun the Ox. Them lot are killing it with the podcast. They've really and they've inspired me as well, just to see starting from ground up, doing what they're doing, and it's building a lot of momentum. And so I think we need more projects like that out there as well as the music that's coming out. People are killing it with the videos and whatnot. But it's just that we need more outlets, you know, to kind of showcasing what people are about and who we are as artists, as well as, you know, what kind of character. People don't get to talk that much when really they should. Because a lot of these rappers are funny as hell, but, you know, they're shy in a weird way, you know. But when it comes to making music, it all comes out. But, man, yeah, I know so many great people in the scene, man, and I think it'll be cool to chat to them. Definitely, there's a few heads that people have been talking about in the comments. As always, man, leave your questions in the comments right here, and we'll catch up with them next week for all you bitches and bitchettes.
Don't forget to smash
Oh yeah, don't forget to smash the like button. Oh, hey, bruv, I beg you smash the like button, yeah?
Smash it.
Man, them need to subscribe, smash the like button and them thing there. Oh yeah, if you go to the first video, the first one of these that we did, someone commented in there with a playlist of Transmission 1. Like, so that's me when I was doing Jungle in the 90s with IC3 and Major Skits. So yeah, you lot can listen out and see what you think. Shout out to Locke. I know he'll enjoy that as well. Black Einstein, good chatting to you, brother.
And yourself, bro.
Yeah, man.
Anytime.
I'll see you in about 2 minutes as soon as we turn this off. Dan DNA, thank you as always, brother. Peace, mother lovers. Yeah, they can't hear me now, can they? Woo!
Yeah, they can.
Yeah, I thought.